who is Andre? Who are you?
Who am I?
Yes.
Well, I'm an entrepreneur. I've been in business, started my first company in 1998. So that's an automotive side. So that is Manufacturers Industrial Group, located in Lexington, Tennessee. And then grew that. So that was one building. Then I bought one of my companies, my customer's plant in Lexington. That was Johnson Controls. Then I bought a supplier that was called at the time. It was owned by a ligament plant, and so bought that one. It provided former wire and tubing for seating primarily. And then in 2010, purchased a metal stamping facility in Athens, Tennessee. And that was owned by Johnson Controls also. Then, but in 2014, I sold the plant in Athens and two of the plants in Lexington. And, well, I should go back. In 2007, I started MIG Construction Services, which is now called MIG Steel Fabrication. So I still have that going. But, so I sold those two plants in Lexington and then one in Athens. And then last year in May, I sold the plant in Chattanooga that was called MIG Wire and Tube.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So currently, what do you have going on right now?
So now I have BG Innovative Safety Systems, which is used, we occupy this place here. And then I still have MIG Steel Fabrication, which has an office in Nashville and then one in Memphis, and then the shop is in Lexington. And then I have another little startup called Lewis Mechanical.
Little startup.
Yeah. So that's in Memphis.
Cool, awesome. So, what have you noticed? As you have had a lot of different companies, what have you noticed about, I guess, getting started in Tennessee? And you've been like east, middle, and west. Which area do you think is probably the best for starting something up? Or did you find the best?
Well, I tell you, the easiest would be west, I would say, because there's more demand, or there's a greater need for companies here, as opposed to, say, like Middle Tennessee with Chattanooga that had no incentives or anything like that. You just go do your thing here. When we started here, I mean, the mayor met with us. We had the TVA, banks. We had the ECD. I mean, everybody. We had a whole room full of people. Everybody just like, what can we do? So yes, definitely was here. Yeah.
Nice. And how has the co been a resource to you and your businesses in recent years?
The co has helped by just the networking here, so like where we were able to, we get things a lot faster, like we needed a video, and Kevin, he was able to do that in like a couple days, He came out in the middle of the night and, hit a video because it had to be at night, so the lights on our cars would come on and we could just describe our product. And then technical help, I don't know if you know, but our very first our site, what do you call it?
Website?
Our website. William did it for us.
Awesome.
But that was way before this place was even. It just happens that
Yeah, this is William.
Yeah, William. but just the resources here and people that know different things like with marketing and things that I didn't really have a background in because of in automotive, you know, it's just kind of one thing and you don't really have to get outside to go looking for business or you know, but when you have a product that you plan to sell to the public, you know, and to learn a lot of different things, you know, so you know, so the resources here have been really helpful.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what kind of advice would you give to entrepreneurs who are looking to start? Maybe they were in, you know, the automotive field or something similar to that. What kind of advice would you give them?
Well, I would assume it was something they would really enjoy doing, and then understand. But you know, it really comes down to a lot of the basics. Is your business plan, you know, and then and be willing to sacrifice, you know, all your time and maybe all your money, and guaranteeing everything, you know, because you know at some point you're gonna need some money. So unless you're coming in with a lot of money, you know, you're gonna have to know how to borrow money and get a line of credit and all that good stuff. So you have to be willing to be very open and be able to just lay it out there. You know, the bank's gonna have to know all your business. You know, wherever you're gonna get the money. But you have to be willing to struggle for a long time before it may take off. Because most businesses take a while to get off the ground and grow a customer base. You know, and unless you're gonna go into like a franchising or something, if you got a brand like you go open a McDonald's, well everybody knows McDonald's, you know. So a lot of those things that if I open Andre's joint, you know, well, who's that, you know? So then I gotta get out and market and all that kind of stuff. What's that all about, you know? So it depends on the type of business, you know. So, and you gotta wear a lot of hats, you know. You gotta understand the accounting part, the logistics, and you know, packaging and marketing. You gotta, or unless you can afford a lot of people that can get all that, do that stuff for you. But if you're gonna own it, you really need to get a pretty decent understanding of it. You don't have to be expert in everything, but you got to be able to have access to those things.
Nice. Yeah. I think that's good advice. And kind of in that vein, what is your philosophy for managing time and task, or time management and task management? Or do you have a philosophy, or you just do it?
How do I manage my time? Is that it? It's changed over the years, to be honest. But you really need to know, because there's nothing more valuable than your time. You know, and I had to learn is that time is money. And so you have to really consider what is most invaluable for you to put your time into it. So whether you have family or so if you're single, then you know, then that's family time is, you don't have to worry about that. But if you're single, you still have to figure out, all right, is it worth me going to some type of networking event where I may only meet one person, or I may not meet anybody, or I may meet 5 or 6 people, you know, is it worth that? Is it worth 2 or 3 hours to do that, as opposed to staying in the office and work on something else? You know, you have to kind of balancing, and sometimes it's you know, you don't know until you do it a few times and realize like, well, all right, I won't go back to that one. Or another thing that is answering email. You know, if you keep your email open all the time, and so then as opposed to working on something, so one thing I learned is I need to take my email page off. Otherwise, you know, I'll end up answering, I'm working on something and boom, oh, let me.
Go to the email.
Yeah, you know, sometimes it can wait. You know, unless it's really hot, you know, set it aside, you know, a couple times a day. I says, all right, from say 1 to 3, I'll answer emails, or only at 4 o'clock at the end of the day or the morning, you know, but it's not good to have it open all the time,
Right.
you know. Otherwise, you know, you're just gonna stop and start, you know, and it's harder to get one thing done. You're trying to work on a spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right, I'm almost done, but whoop, now, or you're answering phone calls, you know, it's like, you really need to take this phone call, you know, so you need to kind of balance things that what can wait and what's important to take at the time. So that's one thing I learned. I'm going to get emailed at a certain time, you know, and try to stick to that.
Awesome. Did you have anything else you would like to say to about the Co or about entrepreneurship or anything that you do?
I would recommend a place like the Co to any new startup, because if you trying to work at like Marcus and I, we used to work at Panera Bread for like a year and a half. That's where we used to go.
Wow.
So you sit there and you eat, and then, you know, when there's people that you want to talk, or, you know, you got all these interruptions, you know. But here you got everything you need. You want to print something, you know, you can print, or you got a question, or you got this conference room, you know, if you want to have other people come, you know, you're not trying to pull together people because or some babies, you know what's going on, and it's a restaurant, you know. So, it gets you away from everything else, and you can just take care of business, and, you know, it's as opposed to trying to work from home. I can't work at home, you know, because I'll see something, it's like, oh man, let me go ahead and fix that real quick, or, you know, it's too many distractions, you know. And then you just have the resources here, you know. You got a little of everybody here that can help you do a little something, you know. And you just never know, you know, just because like designing, and, you know, I'm not that creative. I try, but, you know, there's people that are a whole lot better. And, you know, and just, hey, what do you think about this? You know, so you get feedback, you know. So that's good, and so it's just a cool spot, you know. You know, work, and you want to go sit over and relax for a minute, you know, or you know. So I would recommend a place like this for anybody just trying to start, and it's inexpensive, you know, and you just have all these resources here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, that was good.
That was it.
Okay.